Errol Spence playing no games ahead of his upcoming fight with Ugas. 3 belts, 1 night, 1 fight. Errol Spence said training preparation as he get ready for the fight with Cuban champion Ugas is therapy. Stay tuned to this video. We're going to talk about everything. Everything you want to know, at least. Yo, what up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. 2022 is lit. We got a great fight, Errol Spence Jr. versus your Dennis Ugas. Oh yeah. Now Errol Spence, he's playing no games. I try to warn y'all. Y'all didn't want to listen. This was him at the fights. See, when he was at the fights, you couldn't quite tell because, you know, he's fully decked out, you know, got the coat with the Letterman type of patches on it and stuff, so you can't really tell, you know, but you can see in his face that he looks like he's in shape. That has now been confirmed. You know, if this wasn't enough, Errol Spence posted a photo and he says therapy, and I made this for you guys. Boom. Look at this man bicep though. Look at his bicep, bro. He out here working. Ego Weight Watchers, aka Ill, where I give you guys a look into the fighter lifestyle before after progress pics. Now, listen, I ain't got nothing to say. He looks like he's well, first of all, he's sparring. 2, look at the man bicep. And he's looking vascular. You know, you see the veins bulging out, pause. And, you know, this is just what I love to see in my sport of boxing. When there's an upcoming fight and both fighters seemingly really want it. And we'll get into some of the stuff Ugas said. Ugas was on the Showtime telecast over the weekend. But this, I like this. I like what I'm seeing from Errol Spence. Now, Errol Spence, in recent memory, he's definitely been through a lot. He recently was forced to pull out of what would have been his biggest fight ever, and that was Manny Pacquiao. He had a eye injury, a torn or damaged retina, which forced him to not be able to continue the fight. The doctors physically wouldn't let him continue the fight. So that had to be a super buzzkill. Errol Spence, previous to that, had been through a heinous car accident where it nearly claimed his life. So Errol Spence has had back-to-back setbacks. And, you know, the unique thing about Errol Spence is like he must be a tough dude outside of what we've seen in the ring, just because these are back-to-back things and he's still keeping the same mindset. And in my opinion, from what I'm seeing, it looks like Errol Spence is even more driven and Errol Spence is even more determined since the car wreck. And sometimes that's what it takes to get people focused. If you ask anybody who's had a near-death experience, that's life-altering. That forever changes how you view, you know, at least in the near future, because it almost claims your life. So I know different people, be it a sickness or ailment or car wreck or motorcycle accident, whatever, that have had these things. You know, people who've been in gangs and shootouts, things like that. And when you have those near-death experiences, you can ask pretty much anyone, you're grateful to be alive, right? And it looks like this is the case. I can't speak for Errol Spence, but it looks like he's gotten a second chance because he did walk away from the accident unscathed relatively. You know, he was able to fight Danny Garcia. And in my opinion, he beat Danny Garcia in a fashion that we hadn't really seen anyone else, even though there's other people like Mauricio Herrera. He was boxing, using the jab. Same thing with Lamont Peterson. Even though Lamont Peterson kind of hurt him late in the fight, Danny Garcia, I think more from fatigue, but still, you know, we've seen Danny Garcia have some tough nights in the office. Keith Thurman, you know, Sean Porter lost. I thought the Sean Porter fight I thought Danny won by a close margin. But needless to say, Errol Spence, off injury, he made Danny Garcia look like he was the one coming off an injury. Danny Garcia almost didn't have any answers for the jab, the boxing, and kind of was shell-shocked by the power. Danny Garcia, post-fight, went on to say that Errol Spence is the strongest out of the guys he fought in terms of the welterweight, Sean Porter, Keith Thurman. He said Errol Spence is physically strong. You know, he's like the strongest. Now, I like what I'm seeing from Errol Spence. He looks dialed in, and I want you guys to listen to some of the things that Ugas had to say over the weekend, and he also looked like he's in shape too. Clearly, he was fight night ready, so we couldn't see, like a media workout. Speaking of, they're doing a press conference this weekend, so make sure you guys subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest and all the updates. But Errol Spence and Ugas, they are doing a press conference this weekend, so be on the lookout for that. And without further ado, let's check in with the boy, Yordenis Ugas out of Cuba. Roll the clip.
Spence Jr., the winner, walks away with 3 of the 4 belts. Last time we saw you in the ring, you not only beat, you retired Manny Pacquiao. How did that?
And he really did retire Manny Pacquiao, because I seen the video. Manny Pacquiao was eating Mott's applesauce. He couldn't even eat solids. His wife was feeding him porridge or something. So, legend in the game. Hell of a career for Manny Pacquiao. I'm going to, it's up to my fighter. But yeah, Ugas did that. I thought Ugas looked sensational. A lot of people sleep on it, and they want to make excuses like, oh, Pacquiao was old and stuff. Bro, if that wasn't Ugas in there, and it wasn't like an Errol Spence or Crawford, like a top guy basically, then it would have been a different outcome. Pacquiao looked ready, he looked fresh. He just had no answers for Ugas' style. And the funny thing is, I think Ugas, no matter when he fought Pacquiao, if Ugas had the ability and the style that he currently has and the experience that he currently has, and he fought Pacquiao at any other point, I think he gives Pacquiao problems. I think a lot of people make excuses. But we're going to continue.
When prepare you for Errol Spence Jr.?
Esta primavera te vamos a ver contra el campeón Errol Spence Jr. Primero y la última vez que te vimos fue ganándole y retirando a Manny Pacquiao. El que gane esta pelea se va a llevar 3 de los 4 cinturones. ¿Cómo te preparó esa pelea para Errol Spence Jr., la pelea con Pacquiao?
No, buenas noches a Chontán, a todos los que nos están viendo. Vengo de una gran victoria, peleé contra uno de los mejores peleadores de la historia, y ahora voy a pelear con uno de los mejores peleadores del mundo, con Spence, abril 16. Estoy bien emocionado y bien feliz de estar aquí en una gran pelea.
It'll be a great fight against Spence and against Manny Pacquiao. I also retired a great champion. I want to say goodnight to the people and, of course, Showtime. So it's going to be a great fight come April.
To me, what makes Yordenis Ugas a special fighter is that you would always take on top opposition. Sometimes even...
He definitely takes on top opposition, and that's something that a lot of people aren't giving Ugas credit for. But at this point, he's fought Pacquiao, guys like Ramos. He got in there with Thomas Delorme, Ray Robinson, Sean Porter, and he's about to fight Errol Spence on top of Manny Pacquiao.
On short notice, and you beat them. There was even a point where you walked away from boxing for 2 years. At what point did you know Yordenis Ugas was going to be a world champion?
Para Brian, él dice que tú eres un boxeador que ha ganado peleas con poco aviso, que te lo dijeron con poco tiempo y supiste ganar esa pelea. ¿Cuándo supo Ugas que iba a ser campeón mundial?
Bueno, yo regresé en el 2016. Yo sabía que era un problema de hacer las cosas un poco mejor, un poco de ajuste, y que los resultados iban a salir. He estado en el gimnasio por todos estos años y pude coger cada oportunidad, hacerlo y hacerlo bien y ganar. Y por eso estoy aquí, gracias a Dios, por esos pasos que di.
Yeah, I came back in 2016 with a vengeance. I adjusted to what I needed to do to be world champion, and since then I've been doing things right, winning fights, tough fights, and that's why I'm on top.
All right, so now you are world champion. I see you've been given the key to the city, to Miami. You look on your social media, you've shown off the new house, new cars that you got. Are you?
That's that Al Heyman money. That thank you Al Heyman money. Because you see from this picture, Ugas looking sharp. You know, he got the coat. He looking like he Cuban Frank Lucas. Yeah, I got Blue Magic. I guarantee it. Name brands like Pepsi, huh? Yeah, I guarantee it. My dollar. It's $25,000 alpaca.
Still that hungry fighter, though.
Hemos visto que te dieron la llave de la ciudad de Miami, en las redes sociales, nueva casa, nuevo carro. Pregunta a Brian si tú todavía tienes esa hambre para seguir ganando.
No, las casas, los carros, todo eso son cosas materiales, nada de eso me llena. Yo estoy aquí, ya no tengo hambre ya, pero ahora tengo más responsabilidad con una comunidad, como todo el mundo sabe, y soy un peleador dentro y fuera por la libertad de mi país y tengo toda una comunidad ahí esperando mi victoria para todo, gritar patria de vida, y mi responsabilidad aumentó mucho.
My responsibility has really had to step up a notch now. I'm fighting for a whole community. Now it's country and life, the saying in Cuban. In Cuba it's country and death. Over here it's country and life for the Cubans that have come over here. And that cars and houses, that's all material things. I'm still very hungry to win fights.
Listen.
That's a great answer from Ugas.
You told the boxing media you want to be the undisputed welter world champion of the world. You said after you beat Spence, you want Terrence Crawford next. Is that still the plan?
Tú le dijiste a la prensa que, bueno, tú quieres ser el welter indiscutido. Y después que le gane a Spence, quiere enfrentarte a Crawford. ¿Todavía es el plan?
No, había entendido la pregunta.
I understood the question.
Sí, como he dicho, yo soy un hombre de respeto, un peleador de respeto, serio. No tengo que hablar nada para esta pelea lo que el ganador que se comprometa a seguir, a tener un solo campeón en peso welter, una de las mejores divisiones de boxeo. Y así el ganador que se comprometa a seguir, a buscar la craft.
Now, everybody knows me as a serious boxer, as a boxer of respect, and whoever wins this fight between me and Spence should fight Crawford. We want a unified champion. Best fight the best.
Lastly, we'll let you get out of here. Give us something. What's going to happen when you and Errol Spence get in the ring?
Dino, ¿qué va a pasar cuando tú y Spence estén en el ring?
No, estoy emocionado de estar en esta pelea. Spence es uno de los mejores peleadores del mundo. Estoy esperando el mejor Spence. Va a ser una gran pelea entre dos de los 3 mejores pesos welter del mundo. Todo el mundo sabe que yo vengo a pelear y respeto a Spence y esa noche voy con todo.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going with everything. Everybody knows that Spence is one of the best boxers. I hope Spence comes in his best condition, and it's going to be 2 of the best 3 boxers in this division fighting that night.
He is the WBA.
So, there you have it. Ugas, he said, I hope Errol Spence comes in shape because we 2 the 3 best in the division, and it's going to be a heck of a fight. Now, you got to love Ugas' confidence. I try to tell y'all, based on what Spence has been through inside and outside of the ring, and even if Spence didn't go through a car wreck, even if Spence didn't have the eye injury, if none of that happened, this would still be a serious, challenging fight. You know what I mean? This would still be a tough fight for I think it's a tough fight for anybody at welterweight. So you got to commend Ugas for taking it. Back-to-back tough fights. Pacquiao, late notice. He wasn't the original opponent. Stepped up, set, history, really, and beat Pacquiao. And now he's taking another test in Errol Spence. But this is Errol Spence, and you see he was in crazy shape, and it looks like he's trying to get back to that type of form. And, I ain't mad at it because he has a serious test in front of him with your Dennis Ugas. I know a lot of people keep flexing the question about Terrence Crawford. My thing is this: we don't really know what Terrence Crawford is going to do. We don't know what his next move is. We don't know who he's partnered with. He's in the middle of a lawsuit. So we'll have to really see how everything plays out. But this right here, this is a great fight. Derek James, amazing trainer. Errol Spence, he said this is therapy. He looks like he's back in the gym and back in the gym in a major way. Of course, he has an upcoming fight in April. So I'm looking forward to it. We definitely going to be checking out all the festivities and, you know, following this fight on the channel. If you guys would like to follow it through my channel, subscribe. Boxing Ego, the best in the business. Another unification. This picture you see, I was at this fight, Sean Porter, the first unification Errol Spence had, and now he's getting ready for another. Subscribe to the channel if you like what I'm doing right here. I got a lot of stuff. I'm not at liberty to go into some of the stuff that I'm working on behind the scenes, but just stay tuned. Should be a great fight, welterweight unification. Let me know who wins. Ugas sounds focused. Terrence Crawford, you know, we don't know what he's going to be doing, but Errol Spence looks like he's dialed in as well. So great fight. Subscribe to the channel, and I'm out. The future is now. The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, gym, or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation. Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TubeBuddy. I've used TubeBuddy for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TubeBuddy is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TubeBuddy and level up your channel faster.